What's up, everybody? It's KB, and I love movies. I do. I really love movies. I gotta say so. Thank you for coming and joining us for another conversation tonight. The spooky season continues. We're about a third way of the way there, so I have to say, I'm having fun with it. I hope you are as well. Thank you for everyone who's been watching, rewatching, letting people know about it, blowing it up on social media, showing up. Hello. We like when the guests show up. So I have to say thank you because tonight's guest showed up and he showed up early and we were talking backstage and he's a good brother. And if you don't know about him, you're gonna want to know about him by the end of this live stream. He's the evil one, but he is cool breeze. We got the evil Tyrone in the house. Take your sip, brother. Take your
Yes.
sip. Take your. I'm gonna take one too. Look.
Oh yeah, gotta take a little sip, you know.
You
We
got
gonna be
some tea going
talking.
on there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Mhm,
oh
mhm.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite. You know, I love the show. I love what you do. You know,
Thank
and I'm
you.
glad to be here for spooky season. You know,
Yes,
to
sir.
chop it up. You know.
I understand you're one of them cats. It's 24/7, 365. It's spooky season for you. You are full-time horror. You're doing it right. You are building a horror community that is profound. That's the best way I could put it because you're introducing people to me. You and Mika, Kira, I have to say, you guys are introducing people to me. And I know I go to your channel and then I come across somebody like Cray Dre. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, I need that kind of energy over on my channel. So, then I got to have him on. By the way, if you're watching, you coming on? Tell me. We got some spots for you waiting. So, uh, I just want to do like all horror with him because he's just like crazy. I
Oh,
love it.
he's an amazing guy. You know, an
Yeah.
amazing guy. You know, shout out to the twins. You know, Mika and Kira. You know, shout out to them. They're amazing as well.
Hmm. They've been helping out and showing up in the chat, promoting on IG and everything. So yeah, man, definitely shout out to them. So conversation. Uh, the way we normally do it is we start off with a non-movie question. For this spooky season, we move through this remix version of the 5 takes, which is the 5 questions I ask at the end of every conversation. But yeah, we'll just get started with a few questions before we do. So, um, my non-movie question for you is: I open up your music app or I go in your car. What's playing right now?
Ooh, what's playing right now? It's probably Victoria Monet. Like I'm very heavy into her right now. You
Ah,
know, great voice. You know, and we're actually from the same city, Sacramento, California. You know,
all right.
that's where I was raised. You know,
Yeah, nice, nice. Um, so of course, the first time I saw the evil Tyrone, immediately I thought of Outcast, Love Below, just
yeah.
because of the way Andre 3000 flipped that word. What was the inspiration for it for you, if it's not the same thing?
You know what? I was struggling to like try to figure out what I was going to do because I really wanted to do interviews, and then I started just interviewing people that I was interested in, like just throughout daily life, like anybody. It didn't even have to be in the horror community. Then I interviewed a few people in the horror community, and I noticed that those were the interviews that I had the most fun with. Those were like the 2 hour plus, type interviews. So I stuck with that and I'm like, all right, what am I going to call myself? You know, and then I just started thinking, I'm like, I'm evolving right now. I feel like this at this point in my life, I'm evolving. So, that's where I got EVOL, and then it's just love spelled backwards because that's what I feel like my vibe is, so it's just
Hmm.
the evolution and it's love, but it's also, Evil Dead is, one of my favorites out there. So it's like
Yeah,
triple gotcha.
triple entendre.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that. I was like, this would be a 3000 reference, but it was more than that. It was more than that. So I could get with that. That's cool. That's cool. Of course, we are not alone, so we're going to check in, see who's joining us here in the chat. Before even you popped in, I was chatting with my man Gunshi here. Let me know it's 7:30 in Taiwan a.m.
Shout out to
Thursday.
Taiwan.
Yes, good morning again to you, my friend. We got Adrian James
Yes.
in the house saying hello. We got Holland
Yes.
Oates.
Hey.
It's also good
Hello.
morning to Holland Oates. He's in the UK, I believe. So
Wow.
thanks for checking in. We got Mama Blu-ray in the house.
Mama
What's
Blu-ray.
We got a brand new YouTuber here. Corey just started his channel, Wilkie's Movies and Music. I gotta get that
Yes.
cadence down. But like I told you, man, welcome to the tube. Welcome to the party. Anything you add is just better content out there, man. So looking forward to the videos. He even has a nice idea for his first live stream. So I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna tell everybody go and check it out. Yes, hope everyone's having a good day or night or evening or afternoon, late afternoon if you're in Cali. So it's all good. We got the cool kid. What's up, Johnny? Let's see. So we have Emmett, and he is obsessed with Friday the 13th. So he wants to know, what are you going to do 2 days from now if you're superstitious?
You know what? It's probably like I took the day off. I'm gonna do laundry, clean the house, sage the house, properly, meditate. And then a couple of my spooky friends are actually throwing like they have a panel down at the New York Comic-Con
Hmm.
Friday night, but afterwards they're gonna have an after party. So I'm gonna head down to New York and just hang out with them. So it should be fun. Should be fun.
If I may ask, where are you right now?
Philadelphia,
Philly.
Pennsylvania.
All
Oh
right.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
From Sacramento to Philly.
Yeah. Oh
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
New
Both
York to Kansas
experiences.
City.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
That had to
The-
be a culture shock as well.
Yeah, Midwest is different, man. It's different. But I love it. I raised my kids here. They're Midwest kids, but they could still rock the Yankees fitted, so it's all good.
Oh yeah.
We got Jeff checking in. What's up, sir?
What's
We
up,
got my
Jeff?
sweetheart Caprice. Hello, my darlings.
Yes.
Who else? Who else? There's Kira saying hello.
Hey, Kira.
And then right behind her, we got Mika saying, "Hey, everyone."
Mika.
Yeah. When
Yes,
I told
thank
her
you,
I was going to
Mika.
have you on, she was like way excited. Way
Uh,
excited. That's fam. Like you said earlier,
oh,
that's family right
oh
there.
yeah, that's family.
We got Movie Hunter in the house saying hello to everyone, telling everyone to smash that like button. Thank you, sir. He is
Yes.
Mr. Steelbooks.
Yes. I'm loving these names. I'm loving the from the community. The
Yeah.
Bluetooth, the Blu-ray movie community. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. It all reflects the love, man. It's the thing that I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. The biggest problem I have with people when they say it's not a community and it's cliques and it's circles. Right now, I'm having a conversation with you. I probably know like 5% of your quote unquote community. But the whole thing is we're connecting. We're having a vibe here. That opens up 100% of your community to me.
Exactly.
So my
Exactly.
whole thing is, if you're saying there's a click here and a click there, and these people have the same people on, my whole thing is just go and do your thing, man. Create your niche and do your thing. I'm not worrying about anybody else. I'm not worrying about likes. I'm not worrying about subs. I'm not worrying about if I take 5 years to get to monetization, whatever. My whole thing when I started this is, oh, snap. I went out and bought this extra money edition of Megan, which I could probably get for 14 bucks on Blu-ray. Why did I get a 4K? Why did I get a Steelbook? And the whole thing is to have someone who says, me too.
Yes.
Or somebody who could say, man, I saw Megan in January or February, and that was a great way to start the year. Or somebody to say, I thought it was terrible, and have that debate. But if you're just in your own circle and you're hanging out with your homies or whatever, and they're not into movies, you don't have that. So I could come on YouTube, I could go on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is and have those conversations and have those debates. But I'm not worried about who's down with me, who's checking for me, who's not, who's hating on me.
Yeah.
Who care? I understand if you do, but that's not me. That's not how I move. So my whole thing is get in where you fit in and do your thing, man.
You got to. You got to, And it's very inspiring, seeing what you do and your guests, what they do and just looking behind and seeing the collections and everything. I'm like, because I just remember when I was little, under my bed, it was like hollow. You could put like whatever under there, and I just
Yeah.
filled it up with DVDs, and
Nice.
nobody would pretty much like understand it, in my
Hmm.
immediate vicinity, but to grow up and then to actually see like, oh, I wasn't alone in this,
Yeah.
like I wasn't at all weird for collecting this,
um, a upcoming guest, friend of both of ours, Tommy.
Yes.
He put out you might as well call it a video, but it was on Instagram showing off his DVD horror collection.
Yes.
And I watched that, and of course, it was just spine out or whatever. I wasn't looking to see, oh, does he have zombie or whatever. I was just looking at the elation on his face, and that brother was so happy. He's like, the top shelf is all zombie. Can't mess with that. It's all zombie movies.
Oh yes.
But that's what it should be all about, man. These movies bring us joy, and they scare the crap out of us, and they make us cry, and they make us feel things. And that's why we collect. That's why we stream. That's why we rewatch the same movie over and over, decades over decades. It's about that. It's about that. Let's move on, man. Love Victoria Monet, amazing songwriter.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad to see her come up. Best friend Melissa, what's up? How was Halloween 3?
Hey Melissa.
She was watching Halloween 3 earlier. Brother Dell in the house. What's up?
Dell.
I love what he's doing right now with Movie Swap. He had the twins on last night.
Yes,
They were
yes.
talking Autopsy of Jane Doe. So I
Yeah, I've
like
got to
that.
catch that replay. That's a classic right there.
Yeah,
Autopsy of
yeah.
Jane Doe.
13's her favorite number. Lucky. I don't think anybody should go camping on Friday the 13th. We've seen too many copycat murderers out there.
Yeah, I'll go glamping. I'm not gonna go
Yeah,
camping, but I'll
yeah.
go glamping. Yeah.
I want the generator in the back.
Yeah.
I want to be able to be like 50 feet max from my vehicle. I could just hop in, throw the Yeti in the back, and be out.
Exactly.
Who else? Who else? Because we want to get started here. We got magic hands. What's up, Mike?
Hands.
Great explanation as to why someone should start the channel. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Shout out to my man Ryan. That's how Jeff came over here. And yeah, with these conversations, by the end, you should have 31 new friends, or you should have a total of 31 subscriptions on YouTube or whatever. But even people, I take that back, less than 31, because I have people who came on here, they don't have any social media related to this, but it's so great. Yeah, we're going to have Tommy on. It should be fun. Yeah, same thing with your movie swap, Stel. Love making those connections. Yeah, you got it, Johnny. I'd rather have a community of friends than all that. Yep. Yep. All right, man. You ready to get started?
Oh
We
yeah.
got
Oh,
Jay
yeah,
Stu in the house. Hello.
Oh, I love that name, Studio.
I love it. I love it. At first I was like, he switched up Jay Stu. That was the name, but now this is the official name. This is like corporate now. I love it. My man is doing this thing with the short films and also with the screenwriting, which I think is very important. You don't have a good movie without a good script. And I think there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to put together a decent script as far as screenwriting and everything. And that makes a world of difference. Forget the effects, forget about who's directing, blah, blah, blah. It's the script, man. So glad you're hanging out with us for a little while. we're gonna get this party started with some questions here. So I think I know the answer to the first one, but I'll let you have the stage for it. So number one, name the horror movie that made you fall in love with the genre.
Ooh, it would have to be the Evil Dead, the
Mhm.
original one, from the Sam Raimi's, his first time out the gate. It was just it was swinging for me, just the effects, the story is classic, people cabin in the woods, demons, demonic possession. That's near and dear to my heart, demonic possession, however that may sound. But Evil Dead, the original, definitely up there. That's what made me fall in love with it. I remember watching it on the my little 13-inch television, with the VCR connected. Some sweet memories, sweet
Nice,
memories.
nice. I'm one of those people that saw two before one because I'm video store era days. So I would always go in and there's we were talking about House last night. And if I say House and I'm not meaning the J horror one, that
Yeah,
that poster is like, with the skeleton ringing the doorbell. But Evil Dead, man, the guy reaching up out of the ground. But when two came out and it had that skeleton head, that skull on, I was like, I gotta check that out. I gotta see what that's all about. So I saw two before I saw one. Two was easy to find, and then one was kind of like sketchy to find for a while. So yeah, yeah. Let's
yeah.
see. Oh, you just watched Dark and the Wicked? Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that one coming up because a modern movie that scares Ken Sledge.
Oh yeah, Ken loves that movie. He's always bringing that movie up.
Well, I asked him, I was like, what movie needs more love? More people need to see it. I'm glad Gunshi checked it out, but that was his answer. That was his answer. Yeah, OG Evil Dead.
Yes.
Mama Blu-ray. Your family, you're not even friends. You and Susan are family. Yeah, so good. Did you like Evil Dead Rising? Or are you a purist?
You know what? I'll just be honest, I did not like Evil Dead Rise. I think it did bring a lot. I think it brought one of the best characters of the series to the universe, like the mom. I think she's
Mhm.
one of the best characters in the universe, but there were certain things that I was like, especially with the special effects, I've had my
Yeah.
issues with it. But, I respect everybody who loves it because either way, you and the Evil Dead family,
That's what I'm
it's all good.
saying. We always talk franchises, and I'm a Nightmare on Elm Street guy, but I'll admit, it got kind of corny towards the end once Krueger blew up as far as a media icon. But you
Yeah.
could say the same thing about the Jason movies. There's some weak ones. Now you could say the same thing about the Halloween movies,
Oh,
but you can't say that Evil Dead didn't have like all good movies. They're all solid. One,
yeah.
two, Evil, Army of Darkness, the remake. There's a lot of people that like that remake.
That
Here's
remake
one right
was
here. I'm taking
crazy.
the Evil Dead remake over it any day. It's like after
I can't
2013.
argue.
No, you can't because after that movie came out, it was kind of like people were like, well, and they started saying that's the best one. So yeah. Oh, look at that. Same thing with Mika. That's her favorite in the franchise as well.
There we go.
Hmm. What's up, Trini? Salute to you, my man. Thanks for hanging out with us again tonight.
Trine.
Um, yeah, but so give me your ranking of all of them before we move on.
Oh, Evil Dead. Probably have to be Evil Dead Rise at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and then above that, I'm probably gonna have to put uh Evil Dead 2 above
Hmm.
that, right above that, yeah. And then I'm gonna put Army of Darkness, above that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna put the remake, and then I'm gonna put the original, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
I
so
think for
that's
me,
just
because of nostalgia, the way I do it is hard to say this, but Rise and of course this is fluid. It's going to change again next week. So I would say Rise, Army of Darkness, and then 1 remake, 2. And it's only because I saw 2 before 1. If I saw it like 1 before 2, that's where the love would be, for sure. For sure. But you're right. There's not a bad film in the franchise at all.
Nah, not at all.
All right. So this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time. We're going to talk some movies with this man. I'm
All
excited for
right.
this part. So, number 2, name some of your favorite spooky or creepy movies. I gave you this assignment and you came correct. I'm just going to tell you from now. There's like 3 to 5 movies from everybody's list throughout the month. And it was like, of those movies, there were like a few first time watches. And it was like, okay, you understood the assignment when I asked you that. So I think you're going to start with the first one, is the one I'm talking about. So what's your first movie?
Gungium Haunted Asylum. You know,
Woo!
it's a
This
heavy
movie.
one. That's a heavy one. You
Tell
know,
the people what it's about if they don't
yeah,
know.
yes, Korean film, takes place at it's actually like there was a real Gunjiam Haunted Asylum, and they actually tore it down, I think like last year or something, not too long ago. But it's about, these group of friends, and they are podcasters, they're into social media, and they've got their own show, and they're trying to get like, all the views, all the followers, all that, and they do it by ghost hunting, and just checking out creepy places and things like that. And it's very like extreme in some parts with the haunts. That's what I love. Like, it's very
Mhm.
found footage, but also very like unsettling, especially because there's some reality and intertwined with the story,
Mhm.
so it's just a very, very fun film, and
Yeah.
I took a random one day. I was just like, let me check out this movie. It's on Shutter. Let me check it out. Watched it, and immediately afterwards, I went on eBay, bought the Blu-ray.
Nice.
Immediately.
Nice. For me, first time watch, and I love Korean cinema. So
Yes.
Busan is probably one of my favorite zombie movies. Um, even the whole thing is, there's always some element of drama or family, or some emotional connection. You throw that out the window for this one. Ain't there. That ain't there. But the thing about this one, man, is you get to a point. Even me, I'm not hardcore horror 365, but there is a certain desensitization. Like, after all these years, I don't like jump scares. It's not that it scares me. It's just like, really, that's what you're going to use? You're going to use some music and a quick cut? No, I'm more of like that slow creep. Michael in the Shadows, that kind of thing. So after all these years, for something to make me feel spooked, something to be like creepy, the environment was it. The fact that, like last week I rewatched Blair Witch Project, and it's not the first, but found footage kind of thing. So having, footage from like the equivalent of GoPros and DSLR cameras and all that, and combining that with, and I'll say this again later on, great editing.
Yes.
Great editing. I don't mean like I'm gonna cut from this scene to this scene, character A to character B and C together, but yeah, thank you, Mika. She just said it. The slow burn building up as they go ghost
Yes.
hunting in this asylum, finding out things so creepy. Yes, and that's what I love about it. Corey, get on that, man. If you got it, watch it. It's good. But when the action starts, because there's going to be a part where the action starts, it is just pure pandemonium. And the thing about it is, you go from like, is this real? To like, Oh, it's on and popping.
Yeah, there were certain scenes that, I was like, "Oh, I gotta," when you gotta sit up, you
Mhm.
maybe leaning in your lounge, or you gotta sit up. Especially like when I'm watching movies, I love to put my headphones on, especially when I'm watching horror films. If I'm watching them alone and in the
Yeah,
dark,
yeah.
just adds that element.
Oh, man, we got some people popping in. We got the thing going back and forth. Um, Busan made him tear up at the end. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It got tender at the end, and for a brief moment, you're like, "Hey, I forgot this is a zombie movie." But yeah, totally against fast zombies. You and I both. Um, Return of the Living Dead. Also, for me, Dawn of the Dead remake, I forgive that one too because it just brings a different element. It's like me trying to outrace you versus, you're gonna swarm me and move slow and eventually get me. But love Busan as well. Tale of
Okay.
Two Sisters, favorite Korean movie. I gotta peep that. Uh we got Cody in the house. Wow. What's up, brother? Haven't spoken to you in a while. We gotta catch up, man. Roundhouse, kick that like button. Love it. Loving, he says that. Yeah, it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi as well. I checked out the Blu-ray, but could catch it on Tubi. Um, I have a problem with Peninsula. I don't know about you, but I think it's a better movie if they didn't associate it with Train to Busan, like just standalone.
Okay.
And then, like you said, not half as good as the original, not half as good as Busan for sure. The Wailing. Woo! That's another good one right there.
That was a blind Blu-ray buy for me, and I ended up falling in love. The
Woo!
wailing was on
Do I
point.
have
A
that?
slow burn, very slow burn, but awesome payoff. Awesome payoff. You know,
Oh no.
the the wailing is definitely up there. I definitely recommend that everybody check that one out.
Yeah,
You
that's on
know,
my wish list. I always get that and the sadness confused on when I see it on my shelf. So I don't know why.
sadness is
That yeah,
another one.
beautiful, beautiful. Anything else to add to oh, even before we go on, I this brother can't get enough of talking about this movie. So we're not getting a lot into it, but if you've seen it or you watch it on Tubi or whatever, go and check him out over on Horror Movies and Beyond. This sister did
Yes.
a great job. The two of them did a great job here, just talking full spoilers. So you probably want to check out the movie before you go. It's not that long. What is it, like half hour that you guys would
Yeah, it's like a half
talking
an
about it?
hour.
Yeah. But that image that you see on there, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're gonna wanna watch that movie. That's all I'll say. So a little cross promotion for her. I would love to have her on the show as well. So we shall see. We shall see. What else
Yes,
you got for
yes,
us? Moving on.
yes. Well, my next up would be another found footage one. As above, so below. Which I call what is it? Catacomb Raiders. That's
Yeah,
my nickname for it.
yeah.
But it's basically it's group of folks, and they get together, and they're in Paris. And they're going underground, and they're looking for stuff. They're looking for stuff. Like, I don't want to get too deep into what exactly they're looking for, but they're looking for stuff, and it things don't necessarily go their way.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the movie I feel like this movie does extra credit, because I walk in to see like a horror movie, and a lot of times, like, you don't really see like certain elements introduced in horror, like, that, well, back then anyway, as far as like the character psyche and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
for it to and I wasn't expecting to see, those type of layers, as far as like how this place would scare, or, quote unquote, torture people. So
Yeah.
it was very, very interesting. So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend As Above, So Below. It's definitely
Yeah.
top tier.
When I saw you put that on the list, I was like, "Ooh, rewatch time." The funny thing is you got a nickname for it, so do I call it daddy issues on the ground. And that's not giving anything away. It's just
No,
like
no, it's not.
it's daddy issues on the ground, man, because sometimes you just gotta leave things alone. I,
Yeah.
I understand if it's your job, you want to get your Indiana Jones on or whatever you're doing. Some things are just left alone. Same thing with the other movie in the Haunted Asylum. Some things are better left alone.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to wonder about these people and say, why are you so nosy? Why are you so inquisitive that you're willing to risk life and limb in many of these cases? What's up, John Doe Juggalo? Thanks for hanging out. Why would you risk life and limb for what? Fame, discovery, fortune, history, whatever the case may be? I don't think it's worth it.
And that's a little bit of what was going on in Ganjiam as well,
Hmm.
so it's like, what's the what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah, yeah. But
You know.
nice tie in here because I watched them back to back, so this definitely helped. Found footage, another one where you're utilizing, technology as not only as a source of capturing, but in a lot of ways, a source of fear and
Yes.
creepiness too. And once again, I think Haunted Asylum did it better, but great editing because it's not just we're going to take this GoPro and shake it back and forth and then cut away. It's like, no, this is found footage. You see this person, all of a sudden you see shadows. And it's not relying on the score to move you or whatever. You're being moved because you're drawn in. It's like you're watching like somebody's video on your phone. You're being drawn into what they're experiencing through the camera, and then something cuts real quick, and it's not a jump scare per se. It's just something that you catch in the background, or they experience something and it comes at them really quick, so you experience it really quick, and there's like heart racing. Even if you've seen it
Yes.
before, this is one of these movies you go back and you kind of re-experience the same things over and over. So yeah, it was a fun rewatch. But still, I it's one of those movies where you pick up on new things every time you rewatch it. This is only my second watch, but I picked up a lot more this time than the first time. And of course, it is also as you move through life, you experience different things, your emotions grow, and you're like, oh man, I could see how that would be something that becomes like, I don't know, like something that becomes a block or something that keeps you from growing, maturing, whatever it is. And I mean, this is not surface level stuff that we're talking here, but you
No.
might not catch it the first time. It's definitely one to add to the collection and watch again and again. Also, one that sounds really good in surround sound because you got sounds coming to you from all aspects. And if you have like a nice subwoofer, let's say if the floor falls out because they're in, like you say, catacombs underground,
Yeah.
and that bass just boom, because it's like the floor giving out. So it's
Mhm.
like once again, it draws you in with the sound also because you feel that. Once again, we want to feel. That's why we're watching these movies. We want to laugh.
Exactly.
We want to cry. We want to get scared. So
Exactly.
this movie does it. This movie does it for sure. Uh, Not too many comments about this one, but yeah, yeah, it is a blast for sure. Good rewatch too.
Oh yeah.
Um, Anything else to add, or you want to move on?
We can move on to the next film. The
Sure.
next one would be The Perfect Host. If you if you haven't seen that
Okay, so he put it on the list, and he put like a evil smiling face next to it,
one.
and I'm like, the perfect host. I know a movie called Perfect Host, but what's this one? Is it like a? I know a dude likes possession movies. Is it possession? What's it? And I had to double check. I'm like, we thinking about the same movie? And he's like, yep. I was like, Niles from Frasier? He's like, yep. Tell him what it's about if people don't know, but great choice. That's all I'll
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I at first when I saw the cover, I was like, okay, this is a little elegant, a little eloquent, vibes going. And then I saw who was starring in it, Niles from Frasier. And then as I watch it, I'm like, okay, it's this guy, he's a criminal. He's a, manipulator, and he thinks he's manipulating someone, but it turns out that he doesn't know this guy very well at all. And it's like, I don't want to give away anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's definitely a ride. It was a fun time. Like, I laughed, but I feel like the creepy aspect of it was me putting myself in the guy's shoes, in one of the characters' shoes. I was like, if I was in their shoes, I would be totally horrified,
Yeah. Yeah,
at
because
this
you
at
don't know
this
what's
night
coming
of
next.
festivities. Yeah.
You don't know what's coming next. I had my daughter was watching some of it. I've seen this several times because it just hits you so hard from the left. You don't expect it. It's kind of uh like a like a right tackle just coming at you and you ain't got no protection in the pocket. And then next thing you know, you're getting just like smacked. You're on your back. But oh my gosh, Kara, you got to watch it. It's so good. It's so
Oh,
good. Um, but I like movies that have twists and then twists and then twists. And
yes.
shout out to M. Night Shyamalan. He tries to do it, but I think his best is still Sixth Sense, and he's been trying to recapture that. Woo! I got him at the end feeling ever since. Not to say best
Yeah.
movie, but just best twist at the end of the movie kind of thing. But this movie, even when, like you said, you feel the creepiness from feeling for that character, but then when you think, okay, I got this figured out, it turns on you again.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And back to what we were saying with like J. Stu and screenwriting and all that, that is clever screenwriting right there. Forget about the performances. That is clever screenwriting to just keep, and then, and it just turns again. It's crazy.
Or just to show me like something that, like, put me in the frame of mind, like, okay, I know what I'm getting. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, well, maybe not. Just have
Hmm.
have me guessing as a film goer, like, when 10 Cloverfield Lane came out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a Cloverfield sequel, I know what I'm in for. But then as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, oh no, well, maybe this ain't about what I think it is about, and it
Hmm.
just took me on that roller coaster. Like, I love it. I love it.
Yep. Yep. If you've seen this before, this is another one I would say it's good for a rewatch. If you haven't seen it, I don't remember where they have it, but um, check like Amazon Prime or
Yeah, like
even like
Tubi,
Peacock or one
Amazon
of them.
Prime. Yeah, they've got
Yeah.
to have it somewhere. They always
Yeah.
have it. They have it, then they take it down. They put it up, take it down.
Hmm.
But it's always in the mix somewhere. You
Hey,
know.
if some of you work in schools or whatever, even check Canopy because I might have watched it on Canopy. Who knows?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But it's definitely one of those ones that I love showing people with a blind watch.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like and they just not telling them at all what it's about. Just being like,
Mm-mm.
just watch this movie. Watch this movie with me.
Yeah. The
Just to
most
get
I've
their
said is,
reaction.
"Oh man, I like the way dude walks." That's all I would. And then I just let them watch the rest of the movie, red or white.
Uh-huh.
What else we got? Let's get on to the next one.
All right. So my next one is a heavy hitter for me. It's one of my favorite, horror movies of all time. French horror. High tension.
Mm,
Is definitely up there for me. It's about two friends. They're coming back from college. They go to the friend's house to just spend some time. I guess they're on vacation or something like that. And
mhm.
then the night falls, and then that's when just all hell breaks loose after the
Yeah.
night falls. Like, there were things that were happening that literally shocked me. Like, I remember the first time watching this, and I think this probably was my introduction to like the French extreme, like
Yeah,
type, version
yeah.
of horror.
They don't
So
hold
I'm
back.
just,
Mm-mm.
yeah, they don't hold back at all. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching what is it? I'm watching on bootleg. I think somebody sold it to my mom on
There's a
bootleg or
lot of them
whatever.
around.
Yeah. So, I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, oh, this is like one of the best movies that I've ever seen. And then there's there's twists and turns that you don't expect. Like, again, I don't want to give anything away, but I definitely say if you are into like extreme horror, and something that is a lot of blood, a lot of a lot of gore,
Or
and if that is your repertoire, high tension
mhm.
is definitely a must watch.
Yeah. Um, yeah. This is this is true. A bit controversial. There are a lot of people, especially for those that don't know, like it's coming out on 4K soon. My favorite boutique label over in the UK, Second Sight, is releasing a nice big limited edition set with like a book and art
Yeah.
cards and all that. But a lot of people don't like that ending.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know until I think like sometimes I like uh going on like Amazon reviews or whatever, or whatever review site to look at movies that I really love, and the critiques on them and stuff like that. And I
mhm,
remember going on Amazon and just seeing people just
rip it.
trash and high tension, just like it was all great until the ending. And I'm like, what? The
It was
ending
all
was
good a
the
week ago.
yeah, the ending was the cherry on the top for me.
Mhm.
I lost it. I was in bed like, what?
Yeah.
What? You know.
Pre-ordered that set right away for High Tension. Yep.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I showed it to my wife like about a month ago. I didn't even know well, maybe I did. I don't remember, but I I said I was watching this guy Cinema Dave every Saturday. Him and my friend Stephanie, Movie Chatter. They have kind of like a Q&A live stream, and Stephanie started talking about it. And the thing about Stephanie is, either you or you have that friend that just like always will recommend a movie to somebody, and it's like you've never gone back and say, "Yo, that was a trash recommendation. That was hot trash garbage. Everything is on point. It'll either make you emotional or scare you or whatever." And she started talking about High Tension, and of course, like you mentioned, you had the bootleg. First time I saw it, it was part in French, part in English. I
Yeah.
was like, What's going on here?" And I know some people who have only seen the English dub, and it was like a physical copy, but it was an English dub, might have been a bootleg. Streaming services have done it only in English. So that's why I'm kind of excited for this second site release, because it's going to be a fresh transfer. It's going to look right, and the language is going to be right. The subtitles are going to be right, and
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be the total package. But when you saw it, did you have it like French English, all French English dub?
You know what? I had it on the English dub. And then I think at the time, honestly, I was not, I was a dub person at the time,
Yeah, you've
but then,
grown since.
yeah, I've grown. And it was one movie in particular that made me grow. It was Wreck, because I had saw
Oh,
Quarantine, and then
yeah.
someone was like, oh, see Wreck. And I saw Wreck, blew my mind, and then I just
Mhm.
started going down the rabbit hole in Korean horror, Indonesian horror, and I'm like, oh, everybody's doing it better than America right now. That's that's what I was. That's what I was.
Yeah, for a while it seemed that way. It sure did.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're anti-dub around here for sure, for sure. So I don't mind reading subtitles. It keeps me more engaged in the movie
It
versus like
does.
if I could just be on my phone and I'm listening to something, or it's like you're waiting for the next. You know those movies where you're just waiting for the next action scene. Yeah,
Hmm.
you don't have that if you got to read words too. So for sure.
Exactly.
Going back up a bit, Corey. Yeah, I love Canopy. Great way to get some free movie titles, stream them, could get it through your library membership. So, helpful hint to everyone if you don't know about Canopy, check that out. Um, yeah, started with dubs and moved to subtitles. You got to. You got to.
Yes.
And the tip I give, like all my physical media collecting friends, get yourself a region free player. By the time you buy a couple of Criterion 4Ks or 2 or 3 boutique label 4Ks, you could have bought yourself a region free player and open up the world
You
of
see,
of things.
I'm glad you said that because I've been debating for over the past couple months. I'm like, should I get me one, or should I, should I just use the PlayStation Blu-ray? But by you saying that, because I see
Yeah.
all the cool covers from overseas, and I'm
Well, it's
just
more
like,
than covers, bro. Like, I mean, like
I'm missing out.
Exorcist came out, that's 4K, but Exorcist came out over here and it was like bare bones, really. Just 4K, 2 different versions, which I give them credit. They put each version on each 4K, so it was the highest quality. But in the UK, not only did they get the original poster art as the cover, they got the old Blu-rays for The Exorcist and the director's cut. So, and all the features that were on them. So, if you're into The Exorcist, hope you got a friend in the UK that could hook you up. But I'm trying to pull, talking about Second Sight. Monster.
Oh, wow.
And because I love Sean Baker, you ever seen Tangerine?
No, I have not seen
Shot on
Tangerine.
an iPhone. But
Wow.
you can't get limited editions of those here in the States. But, once you see that rating on the cover or whatever, you know that if it's a Blu-ray, well, you need a region free player. And there's so many movies, especially if you're into Korean horror, J horror. So many movies that will never make it to 4K.
Oh
They'll
yeah.
just live on Blu-ray, and for most of them, that's enough. Yeah, UK releases. Australia tends to be a little bit open as far as region A, region B, region C. Like I just got 4 Rooms the other day. That's all regions. Yeah, I love Tangerine. But yeah, if you're a big horror fan, you're missing out on so much Japanese horror, so much South Korean stuff without getting a region free player. That's my advice for you tonight, my friend.
All right. Well, I'm sold, man. I'm sold. I'm going. I'm going tonight. Going tonight.
Yeah, and 100 and change.
Yeah, that's a steal. That's a
Yeah,
steal, man.
yeah. Talking about people who love Second Sight, we got Mel from the Rad Pack, my killer podcast in
Yes.
house. What's up, girl? How you doing? We're
Killer
talking about
podcast.
region free players and getting into the whole region B Blu-rays and Second Sight stuff that we don't get here in the States, and how it just opens it up, especially as horror fans, how it opens up so much more content to you. So it's good stuff. I think this is a good time for her to come in because I know she loves this next movie. So what's your 5th movie that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, so the 5th movie, the last one, would have to be one of my favorites, if not, my favorite horror movie of all time.
Really?
Came out actually the day before I was born, so
Huh.
I like to claim it, a little extra special. But a
Yeah,
Night of
yeah,
the
yeah.
Demons,
Yes, sir.
1988's Night of the Demons, just a bunch of kids going to a haunted house, to party, and then somebody unleashes the demons, and you see the havoc that goes on, and it's so 80s. It's so
Mm-hmm.
80s. Like it has the music pumping, the feel, and the prosthetics of overall over everything, like just the way that they designed like the demons and stuff like that. Shout to Angela, if
Yeah.
those of
And
you who
Angela's
know,
the truth.
Yeah,
Oh man.
it's one of those movies that still like scare me till this day. Like, no matter if I'm waking up early in the morning, it's still dark out. If I'm, late at night watching it, got the headphones on,
Mm-hmm.
just the voiceovers. Like, they don't really do a lot of that nowadays,
Mm-mm.
just with the prosthetics and the voice combination, and the music, the
Yeah.
synths, like it was just a perfect culmination. It's the quintessential Halloween film for me, Night of the
My
Demons.
man selling it hard. He's selling it. The thing I like about this, for one, um it was like right around like when VHS was still popping and
Mhm.
you could actually start to buy them. So you could go into the store and you would see it, and then 2 and 3 afterwards, whatever. There's a lot of people who like 2 more than the first one, but I leave that up to them. But I just remember the first time I saw it, and it was like, this is crazy. I love this movie. Everything about it, like you said, is pure 80s horror. And it was like towards the end of the decade, but it was still doing it right. So they were able to capture all the good stuff from the 80s. Like you said, the synth for the score and the teenage kids. The one thing that it did better than a lot of horror movies is most horror movies might have 2 or 3 storylines, and the killer would move between them or something would happen between those different groups. I think this had like 4, 5 different
Yeah.
storylines at the same time based on the amount of kids. um I do want to talk one spoiler, so I'm going to throw up the banner and I'm going to give everyone who's never seen this movie, maybe you just got the 4K that came out, all 3 of them just came out on 4K, and maybe you didn't get around to watching it yet. So you might want to just hit mute until, you know, I take this down. So I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Shout out to a brother making it to the end of a horror movie.
Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to a brother making realistic brother decisions in that
Yes,
scenario.
yes, yes. He's like, I ain't going back in there.
Yeah, and shout out to him for having the smarts enough to bring that girl back with him, because he know that if he went back himself, he would have
Mm-hmm.
been going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
He's like,
he
I
needed
need
a
an
witness.
alibi.
Yeah.
I need a story. And the whole thing is, in a way, he kind of saved her too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
not only did he make it to the end, but he's also a superhero. Shout out to
Facts.
Raj, man. Raj
Yes.
made it.
Yes. Yes.
Forget
I need a
Mama I
Roger
made
on the
it.
show.
Roger made it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add while we have the spoiler talk on? You're free to talk.
Yeah, I mean, just well, the whole Roger, thing, and also I loved the beginning, that little storyline with the old couple, and then
Mm.
how
And
they
how it
ended it
comes
at the
to
end
the end.
with the apple,
Yeah,
with
the
through the
razor
apple
blade.
pie. Yeah,
Woo!
it was just
That
like they don't do
first
that
time
no
I
more, man.
first time I seen that, that was kind of a scare, because I remember back in New York, like a few years earlier, there was something going around where, on
Mm,
Halloween, that people were putting blades in candy, not like a whole like Gillette or whatever, but they would break it up into pieces and put it in candy. So to see that like 3 years later, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm like 18 going to college, but that movie was still popping. And to see that, it triggered me. And it made me feel like, yo, this is what happened to so and so, or this is what was on the news. So yeah. We good?
oh yes, oh yes, oh yeah. That was yeah. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people are debating whether they should get it 4K or whatever. Definitely do that. Um, I'm making a horror movie about if you skip and the VR that illuminates you. Okay. Um, yes to Roger. Kira and I was so shocked.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good movie, and it made some money, because I don't even remember if like the sequels were straight to video or whatever. But like I was saying before, there's people that like 2 more than 1. 3 is kind of like, yeah, all right, little brother, we'll think
Yeah.
about you later kind of thing. But Yeah, I'm still a person who prefers 1 over 2 still to this day.
Yeah, I prefer 1 over 2. Like, I do have 2 on Blu-ray. I don't have the 3rd one. Like, the 3rd one was pretty it was cool, you know,
Mhm.
it wasn't the best, you know, of course, but it was cool. It's still watchable for me because it still kinda had that vibe. So, you know, if I can if I have, like, company over or something like that, like, I can totally throw 3 on or have it in the background. Like, it still has
Yeah,
certain elements that were fun for me.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, man, you picked some good ones. Like I said,
Thank you.
that Haunted Asylum. How do you pronounce that first word? Is it
Uh,
Ganjium?
Gunjiam. I
Gunjium.
hope I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I'm
Yeah,
pronouncing it right.
we got Kenny Levels in the house. What's up, man? Not a yeah, it is a banger. I was
Yes.
wondering about that. How does it look on 4K? Because, like I said, the three of them just recently came out. I know he was watching. I saw it on his IG story recently, and I think
Sh
he did a review as well.
Shout
So
out to all these classic horror movies coming out on 4K,
4K,
you
I love
know?
it. I love it. I agree.
Thank
Great
y'all.
picks. Great
Thank
picks.
y'all.
For those of you popping in late, um, we were just talking about some of his favorite spooky or creepy movies. We started off with Ganjam, Haunted Asylum, High Tension, The Perfect Host, which was a surprise,
Yes.
but a good one, As Above, So Below, and High Tension, which is another one coming out on 4K soon. So good choices, my man.
Thank
Um,
you.
let's bang through these other three questions and land this plane. So, name a horror movie that everybody loves, but you can't stand.
Ooh, I feel like, Smile. Imma have to go with Smile.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah. I just feel like it's really bad when a trailer is better than a movie.
Yeah, and I feel like they literally had everything handed to them, like, because I'm big into, like, creepy pastas and, you know, the no sleep stories and stuff like that, and I was like,
Mhm,
"Oh, this is totally that vibe. I'm gonna see it." And then when I saw it, I'm like, "It's just something not hitting for me," and I did give it another rewatch. I
mhm.
tried. It still didn't land for me. I just feel like it wasn't executed, for my personal preference. I think it could have been executed a little bit better, you know?
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out, and then when they were bringing out the steelbook is beautiful, the
Yeah.
4K steelbook,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, "I might be persuaded to get it." So then I streamed it to watch it again. I was like, "Nah, it'll stay on the shelf. It'll stay on the shelf." Yeah, smile is the right answer. What's up, Miss K, man? Looking forward to our time chatting it up. Coming soon, coming soon. Uh yeah, you got it, Dell. Nowadays, most trailers are better than a movie, but give away too much. Yeah, that's why I prefer like a teaser trailer, and then when I start seeing final or full, I don't watch them. I
Yeah.
mean, I do print reviews, so I get stuff from the studios and all that stuff. I don't watch them because you're going to give away everything. I don't need all that. I don't need all that. But yeah, man, Smile had a great trailer and the great marketing. They were at baseball games. They had
Oh,
people just randomly smiling and all that. It's
it
creepy.
it
It's
took me
creepy.
back to my childhood, like watching, what is it? The Batman, the animated series, and how
Yeah.
the Joker used to be when he would give, you know, people the smiling, the
It
laughing
would look
gas or
like it
whatever.
just
Yeah.
continued all the way up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
You
man.
know,
What's up, caveman? Thank you for joining us as well.
caveman.
Yeah, I always say hi to Miss Caveman first. He loves it. um, yeah, I wish I could like that movie more. When somebody asked me what came out in the first half of the year that you liked more than something else, I said I like Megan more than Scream. So
No, I agree. I enjoyed Megan more than Scream. You know,
yep,
I think Megan was up there for me until like Talk to Me came out and just demolished everything for me. So,
yeah. And I just realized we're saying Scream instead of Smile, but it's all good.
well,
We love Scream.
yeah, Scream was good, you
Stab
know, but
forever.
you know, the core four, you know,
Yeah, Stab 13. We
yeah.
waiting. Number four. name a horror movie that needs more love. Not enough people talk about it or may not know about it. I mean, you already gave us a great one with Haunted Asylum, but give us another one.
Ooh, well, this is one that my fiance, she actually put me on to, and the horror documentary, Horror Noir on Shutter. If you haven't checked that out,
Hmm.
make sure you check it out. Abby, you know, the black exploitation one that came out in the 70s, about a black woman. She's possessed by a sex demon, you know, and it's just amazing. I think people need to see it. It's a shame because it came out around the time when The Exorcist came out, so I think it was Warner Brothers. They actually got it pulled and tried to like erase it from existence, so you really can't find like a proper print. I got like a bootleg copy off eBay, and I know it's streaming on YouTube. Like somebody's got it posted up on YouTube. But Abby is definitely top tier film. It's starring Carol Speed. You know, she plays Abby. You probably saw her in the Mac if you've seen the Mac.
Of course.
She was hanging out with Goldie, you know. But
Hmm.
yeah, Abby is that. Whenever I have a chance to talk about Abby, I'm always running my mouth about Abby because it was something that I was yearning for, especially seeing like black folks, but specifically like black women in that sort of scenario. And I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. So, you know, make sure you check out Abby, if you can. That's like one of my goals in life, to get the rights and to
Nice.
redistribute it because it needs to be seen. It needs to be seen. We
Nice.
need merch. We need merch.
Let's see. Talk to me, favorite horror thus far. That's another divisive one. I was surprised that
Yes.
there were people that were hating on it, but you never know. Uh,
Hmm.
round of applause for Abby. Horror
Yes.
Noir, great doc about black horror.
Yes.
We could go there, but uh, I don't know. Some other time you're gonna come back on.
Oh yeah. Of
You
course. Of
family,
course.
so you're gonna come
I've,
back on. But
I've,
I would love to have a round table about not only. I'll just put it out there. I'll plant the seed. We finally have the studios realizing that people of color are the ones going every Friday to see not just a new horror movie, although they are a large majority of people who are good, bad, sequel number 15, they don't care.
yeah.
It's a night out. We're going to go. And I say people of color because I'm including the Latinx community, Mexicans, everybody.
Yes.
But even online, whether we're talking movies, YouTube, IG, whatever, it's like a microcosm of that. So I would love to have kind of like a roundtable discussion of that, the whys, the whos, so forth and so on. So something to keep in the back of your head because you're definitely going to be there.
Oh yeah. Oh
Great
yeah.
documentary. Yes, yes, yes. All right. This was pretty cool. We got one more question, but just want to know, what did you think so far?
Man, I love it. I love it. This is I feel at home. I feel relaxed. You know,
Good.
it's a fun conversation. You know, it's moving, very interactive with the community. You know,
Yep.
it's just this is the spot. You know, this is the spot. You
Yeah.
know.
I try to do that. I tell people my main goal is, oh, Dell, you already know you on that. Just so we could talk more Blackula, which I saw today. Sandpiper is coming out with the restored version of it, but no features. Same thing with Breaking and Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. No features, just the disc. So it's going to be bare bones. Thank you, Caveman. I think it's important because we're out here, and the whole thing is a lot of people don't know, and there's
Yes.
a lot of stuff that needs to be represented. We've been doing this before Jordan Peele. I'll just say that.
Wait.
So as we land the plane, just want to thank everyone in the chat. Love your interaction with us. You are part of this show. So I will leave it up with this. Not you've been on. And like I said before, you have your own community of sorts, which I'm probably 5% familiar with. But overall, who do you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Ooh, I would say Sheree Bohannon, you know, she's
Mm,
definitely one of my favorite content creators. She's got a podcast with Zero Gravity and Brother Ghoulish. It's called Blurty Massacre. Where they break down what's going on in horror movies and films and the horror community and stuff like that. She's also got the podcast Nightmare on Fear Street. She's a writer, playwright. She's going to be at Comic-Con giving a talk with a couple other people from the spooky community, as well. And she's just it's a long laundry list, and she is hilarious, and she is on time with just she's on it. She's on it. She needs her own show. So I would definitely love to see you guys interact, because I think she would definitely bring some sauce to this already well seasoned pot that you got over here cooking.
Yeah. Blurty Massacre. She's been on your channel before, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Gunshi. Enjoy your day. Have a good Thursday. Thank you, John Doe Juggalo. Says it's been yet another great conversation. Ooh, before we go any further, I'm just going to clear this because normally I have it up here. Give me a second here. I'm just going to mute my mic. Okay, I'm back. So tell the people where they can find you.
All right. So you can find me on YouTube, at the EVOL Tyrone. You can find me on Instagram, as well as Twitter/X, and TikTok. I I have a few takes on horror. I do horror interviews. A lot of people in the community, no matter whether you're just a fan who loves to watch the movies, or you're actually in the industry, making content, making movies, making music, whatever it is. Like, as long as you want to talk spooky, you can always hit me up on any one of the platforms. I also do horror discussions, with the community, which, I've got to get my man KB on going on one to a few of these discussions, for the upcoming, so we're definitely going to be just having fun and interacting with the community, and just meeting interesting people. Like, it's definitely been a journey for me. So
Yeah,
you can check me out. That's at the EVOL Tyrone, pretty much everywhere. So
everything, everywhere.
yeah,
I'm
everywhere,
glad we
everything
made.
all at once.
I'm glad we made this happen. What's up, Mega Mike? Make sure you catch a replay. We are landing this plane, man.
Yes.
So once again, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been an honor for me to interact and hook up with you and have this conversation. This was the best time of year for me to do it. I know I could
Yes.
hit you on the horn and we could talk spooky stuff all year long.
Listen, man, we're here. We're here.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to make that happen again. But like I said before, thank you to everyone who showed up in the chat, who's watching on the replay. If you like what you see, please let somebody know. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. More importantly, come back, because we like to have people join us in the community. And as I always say, go watch a movie. Go watch a spooky movie tonight. Go watch The Perfect Host or Gungeon Haunted Asylum. Go watch one of these movies we discussed, because they were all good. But definitely go watch a movie. Have a good night.